Alright, let's talk about the battle for the top spot in search results. The rules have totally changed. It's not just about keywords anymore, it's about being the definitive answer. Today we're going to dive into something called Answer Engine Optimisation, or AEO for short, and the technical steps you absolutely need to take to win in this new landscape. You ever feel this? It's so frustrating. You pour hours, maybe even days, into creating this incredible, deep, valuable piece of content, only to watch a competitor's much simpler page swoop in and snag that top answer spot. It's a really common problem. And the solution isn't about writing more, it's about structuring smarter. So here's the big mental shift we all need to make. We're not dealing with search engines anymore. We're dealing with answer engines. These systems are built to do one job: find and deliver direct, trustworthy information as fast as possible. So our job is to make our content the most machine-readable, easy to grab source out there. How do we do that? Well, we're going to walk through a simple 5-point checklist to get it done. First, serving answers instantly. Second, making it blazing fast on mobile. Third, keeping your facts in plain HTML. Fourth, building a stable structure. And finally, creating one single source of truth. Let's get into that first gate. Okay, first up, serving answers instantly, and honestly, this is non-negotiable. Think about it. When an answer engine's crawler hits your page, it needs to see the answer right away. I mean, right there in the initial HTML. It gets back, not after a bunch of JavaScript has to download, run, and piece things together. This slide shows the problem perfectly. On the left, with client-side rendering, the crawler arrives and sees, well, it sees an empty box. There's nothing there to index. But on the right, with server-side rendering, the whole answer is sitting right there in the HTML from the start. And that is the fundamental difference between being invisible and being the answer. So how do you actually make this happen? You've got a few really solid technical options. You could pre-build your pages whenever you hit publish. You could use edge functions on your CDN to render them super fast, or you could use techniques like incremental static regeneration. Even if you can't do the whole page, just having simple HTML fallbacks makes sure that the critical text is always visible to machines. Alright, let's talk about gate number 2, making it mobile fast. Speed isn't just a nice to have for your users anymore. Answer engines see performance as a huge signal of a quality, reliable source. The bottom line is, slow pages just don't get picked for those answer snippets. Your first target is something called time to first byte, or TTFB. This is all about how quickly your server even responds to a request, especially for someone on a mobile device. Your goal has got to be under 600 milliseconds. A fast TTFB basically tells the engine, hey, I'm here, I'm responsive, and I'm ready to deliver. The next big metric is largest contentful paint, or LCP. This measures how quickly the most important content on your page actually shows up for the user. On mobile, you need to be under 2.5 seconds. Anything slower, and you're risking users and bots bouncing before they even see your answer. So how do we get there? Well, it's a mix of things. You need smart caching on a CDN. You need to load your most critical resources first, optimize your images, and be absolutely ruthless about any third-party scripts that are slowing down your page. Our third checkpoint is all about making things super clear and accessible for bots. You have to keep your most important facts in plain, simple HTML. If your key stat or data point is buried inside some complex JavaScript chart that only loads after a user clicks something, guess what? The answer engines are probably going to miss it completely. A really effective way to do this is with what you can call a mirroring strategy. It's pretty simple. You give crawlers a basic HTML table with all the raw numbers, but for your human users, you can use JavaScript to turn that into a beautiful, rich, interactive chart. This way, you get the best of both worlds: perfect crawlability and a fantastic user experience. To really lock this down, always have your core data, like tables, stats, and dates, in plain HTML. You can use structured data like JSONLD to add extra context for machines, but it should never replace the human readable text. And this is so important. Automate your testing. Make sure your key answer text is actually there after every single deployment. Alright, on to checkpoint 4, building a stable structure. Answer engines absolutely love predictability. When your content structure is consistent and your URLs and anchors don't keep changing, it sends a powerful signal of reliability. It makes your content a trustworthy source they can link directly into. So what does that actually look like? Well, for starters, use a clear heading hierarchy. Try framing your H2s as questions that your content then answers. And this is critical. Make sure your section IDs, the things that create those jump links, are permanent. They shouldn't change even if you tweak a heading. Then automate your sitemap submissions and keep an eye on your crawl logs to make sure the bots are actually finding your updates. I want you to think about it this way. Your heading IDs are part of a long-term contract. It's a contract with both your users and search engines. Once you publish it, that anchor becomes a permanent address for that specific piece of information. You've got to protect it. And that brings us to our final gate, which really ties everything together, creating one single unambiguous source of truth for every piece of content you have. This is all about getting rid of any possible confusion about which URL or which version is the real definitive one. And we do this with something called a canonical ID. Just think of it like a permanent serial number for your content. It's a unique identifier that never ever changes, even if the URL slug or the title gets updated later. It makes sure that every system you use, your CMS, your analytics, everything is always talking about the exact same thing. Now, to make this really work, that ID needs to be everywhere. I'm talking in your database, in the page's HTML, and in its structured data. You also need to enforce HTTPS across your whole site and normalize your URLs to stop duplicates from popping up. When you integrate this ID into all your systems, you create this incredibly powerful, unified view of your content. So let's do a quick recap. Here are our 5 operational gates. First, make sure your answer is in the initial server rendered HTML. Second, hit your mobile speed targets. Third, keep your facts in plain, crawlable markup. Fourth, maintain a stable, predictable structure. And fifth, use canonical IDs to set up a single source of truth. And here's the payoff for all this work. When you put these technical disciplines in place, publishing stops being a guessing game. It becomes a measurable, predictable, technical release. You're building a system that is literally designed for reliable indexing, efficient answer extraction, and easy reuse on any platform. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. Take a hard look at your current technical setup. Is it really built to be the definitive source for tomorrow's questions? Because the engines are already asking, and they are always looking for the fastest, clearest, and most reliable answer they can find.